everyone, Dexterous Crafter here and welcome back to my channel. Now in this week's video we are moving on to issue 14 of the Eddie Stobart Moving the Nation. Now I'm not usually one for starting on a slightly sour note, but yeah, just be careful if you are either building along with me or you will soon be coming up to issue 14, as there are some pretty big mistakes in this issue. We'll go through the magazine, and as we go through the instructions I will point out the mistakes just so that you don't sort of fall into any traps. So in this issue, we are moving on to the driving controls and wing panels. So literally first page, first mistake, fitting the gear stick. So focus, right. So on this, part 1409 and the insert, it says a peg on part 1409 points outwards. Brackets insert. So as you can see, literally there is a very clear peg on the end. Now this magazine and parts is actually my third copy that I've had, as I've contacted them and said, look, it's either snapped off, it's not being made correctly, sort it out. So to start with, they said, yeah, we'll send you some more magazines. So as I hope as clear as it can be, there is definitely no peg on the side of there. There is a little bit of plastic, but certainly you look at, like I said, clearly see a peg there. So I have contacted Hachette a third time and said to him, look, this is not good enough now. I says, it looks like the plastic has not filled the mold correctly. I said, basically, we're paying 99 issue. This is not good enough. So they've asked me to send pictures as best I can, clearly explaining the problem, which I have done. So what I would do is I will keep you updated on basically their resolution. So I will be building it as the magazine says, because by the looks of it, it's just a screw that holds it in place. So I will be building it to show the process, and then hopefully, if Hachette, or I say when, because trust me, I'm not going to let this lie, when Hachette get round to sorting it, basically, I'll just swap the correct part over. So that is the first issue. Now, literally, next page, next issue, actually fitting the brake pedal and accelerator pedal. Right, so I will say at this point, a big, massive thank you to Jay at Jay's channel for giving me the heads up about this issue before I walked into the trap. So what it says here, 1404, which they have identified as the brake pedal, and 1403, going on that assumption, yep, is accelerator pedal. Now, just to make it easier for both myself and you, I'm going to very quickly turn it upside down. Right. These pedals are the wrong way round on the build. So I'll now turn it back round, same as the magazine. So yes, I have watched other videos both from Jay's channel and other builders, and it does seem to rectify the problem. So yes, so the silver part is not the brake, it's the accelerator, and obviously the black one is the other way around as well. So yeah, so fingers crossed. Again, we shall see how we get on when we actually get around to building it. But touch wood, that should have that part sorted. It's certainly not, again, not great standards, but let's hope it still activates the lights and everything when we get to it. And then fitting the upper wheel wing panels. So that is how the bit will look once it is finished. Obviously, pedals changed around. The Eddie Stobart story, so changing the looks. The lining technique is evident on the boiler and coal tender of the Flying Scotsman. Definitely my favourite vehicle that was ever constructed. Sorry, Stobart. Back to the story. And on the road, so motorways of the UK, the early days. Britain's motorway revolution began in the late 1950s, but the concept had its roots much earlier in the 20th century. There's a bit about Britain's first motorway. And then coming in issue 15, so we'll be moving on to starting the cab tilting mechanism. So the next parts will be the cab tilting crank and support. So that will be the next video. So as usual, I will get this out, get it started, and I shall see you at the finish line. So, I'm calling this one finished. I have edited quite a bit of the original recording, and basically I've had to go away, a sort of count to 10, deep breaths and all that. Yeah, this has not been fun at all. Basically, the screws that start with the gear stick. I should put this down. The screws that Hachette sent. I don't know if you'll see the white. Let me just put it on my screwdriver. That's a black screw, but hopefully you will see the white up against here. Hopefully you'll see the white that's wrapped around the screw. Basically, it wasn't actually screwing into the gear stick. It was just spinning and spinning, and that white is basically the plastic. I tried with another screw. But again, it was just chewing it. So in the end, I've gone raiding through my spare screws, and I think this screw was when we did the door panel. I think it was a spare one. I think it was a little bit thicker, and that does seem to have actually gone in. So if it doesn't work with your screws, just excuse me, it's just play about with your spare screws from your other issues, and just see if you could just find one to fit. I won't say it's perfect, but that is definitely a lot more secure than what it was basically. Moving on to the pedals. Yeah, I couldn't get this, like, I know I explained at the beginning the pedals right way around in essence. So I swapped them round, and I could not get this to sit at all. So what we do is there's little pegs on the side. I'll show you one of my broken ones. Do you see the little peg on the side? They sit under here. It's basically a little archway they sit under. So I put my first black pedal in, could not get it to sit right. And in the process, we snapped a peg. So it's like, right, okay. So I thought I'll just see how the silver one fits, just in case, you know what, I've actually got one. It does fit the right way around. So I put that one in. And basically, no sooner had I put it in place, the bottom peg snapped. So it's like, right, okay. So like I say, I've got other spares, so I could put this in there, and I thought I'll just attach the switch on the bottom. No clicking. So it's like, right, literally as carefully as I can, I put the pedals as I suggested, and if you can listen, it is clicking, but it's just, to me, I don't like that they're basically sitting at an angle. I'm not happy, but yeah, it's, I think in all honesty, I don't think there's a lot else really I can do. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Lewis just for his opinions on it. And at a minimum, I am going to look at shortening this peg. Because the problem is the black peg, in essence, goes through. It goes through the bottom. It's only literally a millimetre to go into to push down the switch, whereas this pedal stops there. So because there's no hole underneath, to me, I don't like the fact that it's sitting so high up, but that could just be me being picky. So then I put the brake light cable through here, ready to be connected, and then fitted the wing panels. So yeah, really, really not impressed with Hachette on this one. But let's hope, thinking positive moving forward, let's hope everything else goes smoothly. So on that disappointing note, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. And I'll see you in issue 15. Bye for now, guys. Bye.